My friends, what is going on? Hope you guys are having a great day. Just wanted to jump out and talk a little bit about AMC price action today. In short, I can make this video real quick. It sucked. But we can pretty much just end the video there. But some other cool news that did come out is the AMC NFTs. If you signed up for the Investor Connect, the I own AMC NFTs, those email instructions went out today. So make sure if you are signed up for Investor Connect, do that. Set up your free wallet through Wax and make sure you claim your NFT. I think the NFTs are going to be a really important aspect of what AMC does in their future. I saw somebody the other day, forgive me, I don't remember who it was, but they were talking about how kind of like the NFTs for AMC, and just the way you can trade them and everything like that is going to be like the way we traded like comic book cards and baseball cards as kids and everything like that, and they're kind of the baseball cards for adults. And I could not agree more. Everything is going more and more digital. I think NFTs are always going to have a solid foothold in the future. I'm excited about what they can do for shareholders, and I'm excited what they can do just for movies in general as far as boosting revenues and everything along those lines. So I think it's a great thing that AMC is jumping in with both feet and listening to their shareholders on that. A couple of other things is... I tweeted out this morning. Basically, we were gonna, be seeing how the wedge played out. We had a solid bounce this morning off of it. So let's jump over here into the chart. If you watched my super shill video from yesterday about how I do covered calls and why I do covered calls, this little bounce this morning was basically what I was waiting on to kind of see how it was going to react. And the reality is the volume was pretty trashy and everything along those lines. So as far as my covered calls this week, once we kind of got up here at around this 1950 range, I did my 13 contracts. I did them at a 21 strike price, and I collected $1,009.91. So that's what I stand to make this week on my cover calls. Once again, I do that with 30% of my overall shares. 70% of my shares are going to be a moon bag that I don't touch, and unless I don't see some good solid price action from AMC, in the coming weeks or months, and then I'm going to have to get way more aggressive with it. But overall, we gapped down today. We came down here. We got as low as 1781, and then had a nice recovery to the end of the day. But honestly, the nice recovery to the end of the day, the volume sucked on that. Now, the overall market was pretty much just hammered to death today, unless I also tweeted out that I jumped into some BBIG. I also have some DWAC that I've been holding since $57, so obviously made a killing on that. BBIG I did decide to hold overnight. Last I checked, it was running a little bit in after hours. Let me check. Whoa, it's running nice in after hours right now. Last I checked, it was like $5.20. It's up to $5.75 now, which is going to be some key resistance levels. So I'm excited about that one. I'm gonna keep on keeping that one this week. If you don't know the option chain in BBIG, man, it is just loaded to the gills. It could definitely see some real positive price action, which the AMC option chain was loaded to the gills too, and then it got pushed down so much. Obviously this stock is heavily manipulated, but every stock on the New York Stock Exchange is heavily manipulated, and if you don't believe that, there's nothing I can do to help you. You just need to research more and understand more. Every stock is heavily manipulated by hedge funds and institutions and bigger money, and retail can work together. I always saw this meme that was like all these little fish are chasing this one big shark, and that's definitely how it can work. However, big money talks in the stock exchange for sure. So anyway, what are we looking at? So like I said, we gapped down, had a nice recovery. Volume wasn't great on the recovery. Bears are 100% in control of this play right now as far as I'm concerned. And once those bears decide to turn bullish or close out their positions, that's when we're going to see a nice recovery. I said in my video week, I think it was on my Saturday video, I expected to see downside and slash trading sideways all week, and that's what I think we're going to see. I mean, I think we're going to kind of keep seeing, these moves, throughout the rest of the week. I think we're just going to trade, pretty flat throughout the rest of the week. Probably see some highs up around the 20, maybe even gap fill, up to the 20. But man, at this point, I don't even see that. So, I mean, when you kind of start zooming out, this is the price action I'm really seeing, throughout the rest of this week is trading relatively flat. Overall, so I'm going to go back out to the daily here. Overall, on this descending wedge or falling wedge, once again, guys, even though the price action sucks right now, we are in a bullish pattern of these falling wedges, okay? So let's take a look at it. So this was how I had my wedge drawn up until this morning. So right here, had a bunch of touches back in August. We had our rebound on September 30th. We had the December 13th and the 14th where we had our terminal shakeout and rebound, touches. And then now this morning it touched. So what I'm kind of thinking this is going to do is, I always say that the TA, technical analysis, the way you've got to look at it is based on the stock's movement. TA gives you what is my most likely outcome. And based on the stock movement today, I think the most likely outcome, once again, is the sideways to the downside. So it's not a crystal ball. It's not any guarantees. It's like those freaking trolls that always show up and like, this aged well or anything along those lines. When we were seeing all of this right here, guys, this was all bullish. There was reason to think we could be consolidating and being pushed it up. This looked very cup and handly right here and being pushed up to all-time highs. Did I expect, or anticipate? When I really started calling out, like, dude, we're going to see some downside, or back here in November, that November 8th, when we failed to make our new sign of strength and started tumbling down out of that. That's when I knew we were going to see, quite a bit of downside. And then obviously I've covered, which I still believe we're following a January style fractal play out. I believe that things can be slowed down, and things can be manipulated and all of that good stuff. So my most likely scenario right now is trading sideways. I talk a lot about with Wyckoff as well as a lot of the guys that I follow do, talking about the composite man and what's the composite man's plan. And the reality is the composite man's plan is to trick everybody. Right now, all I see on Twitter and honestly in my heart, what I feel is like, let's save up a bunch of dry powder for this gap fill, because this gap fill is going to happen. Here we go. We're just everybody waiting on the gap fill at this point in time. Everybody's waiting on it. And so that tells me also in my heart that, like, everybody wants the gap fill so bad, myself included, because I will load the boat on shares at that point in time. Everybody's waiting on, coming down here and touching these, $14 and $16 ranges, that it just would not surprise me at all to trade sideways this week. And then we really start moving back up, because right now, the way AMC is being traded, there's a lot of retail that's getting exhausted and paper handing, and they're just getting sick of it. Not everybody. So if you're, this diamond bald ape that, I ain't selling, it's Moaz or death, then I'm not talking to you, bro. Chill. But there are a lot of retail that is getting exhausted and everything like that. So what better way to get a bunch of retail money back in play and start buying a bunch of 145 strike calls and everything along those lines, and to let this bad boy start ripping up a little bit. And so I do believe that we are going to see moves back up into the 30s and the 40s relatively quickly. I think sometime between, I think it's going to be a little bit of a grind up. So, somewhere around the beginning of March, I would expect to be back in the upper 30s and 40s. Time will tell. We'll see. I think there's going to be a ton of buying pressure that happens at this gap fill. There's a bunch of people, myself included, that are going to jump back in with a lot of money at this gap fill. So what better way to tease everybody than getting real close to it and then saying, nah, fam, we ain't going here. And here's a reason why. So if, other than just trust me, bro, why do I think that? Well, if we fib from the beginning of the June run, which we've done a bunch of times before, the Fibonacci retracements are always huge. Every single big AMC run has a 786 retracement. We've talked about this multiple times before. Well, what did we hit today? Pretty much right on the nose is the 786. And once we hit the 786, there was a nice recovery back into the wedge. So I'm not saying, reversalist started. I already talked about how the volume was a little bit. If we would have come down here and touched this, and then we would have thrown up, 50, 60 million volume the rest of the day, pushing back up, then I could have been like, oh, so we might be reversing. They might be playing the old switcherooski, the old trickster on us. But having said that, right now, I would love to see this 786 hold. We've had a 786 retracement on every single, big run that AMC has had. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they're just trying to trick us with this gap fill, that it won't happen. I mean, once again, that's all I see: gap fill, gap fill, gap fill, gap fill. And so, like I said, the stock market, man, and AMC, man, she a dirty girl, man. She been putting the hurt on a lot of us. What better way to hurt us rather than going, oh, so you just drug us all the way down here. Now you're not even going to fill this gap, and we're going to get a recovery. I mean, once again, sometimes, what is it? Elon Musk always says, the most comical outcome is always the most likely, or something like that. How comical would that be for us to get all the way down here, then not fill it, and start moving back up, and everybody then decides, okay, well, it'll retrace, and then we'll wait, and we'll come back down, and everybody, okay, well, that's not happening, and it just kind of keeps creeping up, and then everybody starts buying back in, and $28, $30. So wouldn't surprise me at all. Let's take a quick little look at some of our favorite indicators, a lot of the indicators that I like to track. Come on, computer. On balance volume. So let's see what OBV looks like, because we were kind of breaking our uptrend. Yep. So I would have really liked to have seen a bounce right here, back towards the upside, but we are breaking that. Once again, it is not the end of the world. Obviously, OBV still has a great bullish divergence going on, once again, because OBV is still, even though where we're at right now, we're still in a solid uptrend, taking it from the same point right here. Price has done nothing but move in a downtrend. And so OBV essentially gives you an indicator that the actual share price is going to catch up with the volume. When exactly? I don't know for sure. But if you look at AMC's, let me get rid of the RSI just for a second. If you look real quick here at the OBV on AMC, you can see both the January run up, that led to the June run up. That one, same thing, pretty much had a slight move upward before it really took off. And even once it peaked, even though the price, the buy button was taken away, everything along those lines, the OBV stayed relatively flat. We have our big run in June. OBV is still trading relatively flat, even though our price is declining. And so that leads us to our next markup phase, is what I believe. So, once again, days like today, it sucks, it's annoying, but at the end of the day, who cares? I believe this price is going to catch up. I've got time. That's why I buy shares. I don't buy options, even though I think options are great. I'm not knocking options in any way, shape, or form. Me personally, my plan is I buy shares, so that way I only lose money when I sell them, and I only make money when I sell them. And I'm not factoring in, I'm not fighting against time and theta and everything like that along the way. Even though I think options are a great tool, I am personally diving into them heavily to learn more about them. I don't feel like I'm educated on them well enough to risk the kind of money that I risk in the stock market on them just yet. So, but it's coming, and I'll let you guys know when it is. So OBV, once again, still big time bullish divergence. RSI is just, it is whack how oversold it is at this point in time. We finished today at 2503. I mean, only one time, even on the chart here, back here October 15th of 2020. So still, big time COVID going on and everything like that. I know COVID's still there, but not what it was towards the end of 2020. I mean, it's just the RSI is incredibly oversold. We will get a relief bounce. This RSI is going to start moving back up. I'm just, if you can't handle the day-to-day price action and you're like, I'm done, I'm selling or anything like that, right now is a tough time if you're not long on AMC. I'm long on AMC. So right now is an annoying time. It's not a tough time. It's annoying. And tough times don't last. Tough people do. So, but if you need to paper hand, man. You do you. I'm not. I'm in it to win it. And I'm not leaving. Hashtag AMC not leaving. So anyway, once again, recap. Feel like we're going to trade pretty sideways. If we do start moving up, there is room for a gamma run because there's a lot of options in that 20, all the way up to 40. So, we could potentially see, but that's going to take a ton of volume. Honestly, when you got plays like BBIG and DWAC running and everything like that, that's stealing volume away from potentially what AMC could do. Like I said, everybody's sitting on the sidelines waiting for the gap fill. Honestly, me included right now. We're kind of in no man's land. I am not buying AMC right now. That's just me personally. God bless you if you are. I still think it's a good time to buy, but I'm waiting for either a clear sign of reversal, which we do not have, or I'm waiting for the gap. That's what I'm waiting on. Today would have been a great buy. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention on that 786. I would have bought some on the 786 today, but I did not because I didn't see it. I wasn't paying attention. It wasn't until later, and I was checking some fibs, and I was like, oh, dang, that was a good spot. So if you bought today at that 1787, congratulations. You might have bought the low. I don't know. I don't think so. Once again, if I was going to move the wedge now, I'd kind of move it to something like that, where we still have, some touch points. But, the more touch points, the better. So as of right now, I'm going to keep the wedge, exactly how I have it. Right there. We closed back up inside of it. That's a great sign. We bounced off the trend line from these, three big touches right here. So we had our triple bottom bounce that led to the June run. So at the end of the day, today wasn't fun, but it wasn't dramatic in any way, shape, or form. So I am of the mind we're this close. I would love to just get the gap fill and start rebounding from there. But like I said, composite man ain't gonna get you. I think there's a good chance that it might be like teasing, and just be like, oh yeah, we're gonna gap fill. No, we just start heading higher. It won't look like that. I think we'll kind of grind out of here. Lastly, sorry guys. Once again, I don't plan these videos out, so I'm just bouncing all over the place, and I don't care. You don't like it, don't watch it. I'm just kidding. He said don't watch it. And there's my best Dave impression. Like we were kind of looking at this bars pattern right here. I hadn't even looked at this in the last few videos. So yeah, we're definitely starting to dip a little bit lower. And like I said, this is kind of what I was talking about here, though. This kind of like little grind out of here and everything along those lines. Like I said, I ain't worried. We'll see. As always, guys, stay safe, be smart with your money. If it feels good, it feels good. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Regardless of what I say or Trey says or Dave says or Rico says or, any of the popular guys, it's just at the end of the day, do what's best for you. I'm a big believer in kind of that gut reaction and everything like that. If it feels good, it feels right, then that's what you need to do. Trade your plan. Don't let any random people on the internet, tell you what to do with your money. I hope nobody ever instructs me on how I'm supposed to buy and sell my stock, so I'm not going to do it for anybody else. And also, too, if you're one of those people screaming at people, you need to sell or you need to buy or you need to get out of it or you're stupid or anything like that, man, you're a freaking loser, dude. Like, nobody tells you what to do. You don't need to be telling anybody else what to do. If people want to go down with their ship, let them go down with their ship. It is their money. It's not your money. They worked hard for it, not you. So keep your mouth off of other people's money. It's ridiculous. Sorry. You guys stay safe. Love you all. We got this. Probably going to trade pretty flat. It's a little bit of downside the rest of this week. Love to get the gap fill. Who knows? We'll see. Y'all be good.